We're getting into a comfortable seat, settling our bodies. For a moment, feel into the diamond of your pelvic floor from sit bone to sit bone. And notice if there's a balance side to side. And if not, see if you can rearrange the flesh of your buttocks, the spiral of your inner thighs to create balance. And then become aware of your pubic bone and your tailbone, front to back across the pelvis. And see if you can level these two bones. This helps us to bring the pelvis upright so the spine can lengthen out of it towards the sky. If you're feeling at all tired this morning, run your tongue across the roof of your mouth to where hard and soft pellets meet. And invite the hot air balloon to lift you from that point. Tune in to the breath. And invite the breath deep into the low back. Invite the breath deep into your side waists. And deep into the front belly. Now notice your mind. How is your mind feeling and acting this morning? Notice if you lovingly accept this mind or if you have some judgment. And notice the heart. How is the heart feeling today? Notice if you feel loving acceptance towards the heart or if there's any sense of judgment. Come again to the body. What emotions do you feel towards the body? Are there any judgments? Feel into your energy level today. Notice your emotional response to your energy level. And feel back through the last few days, looking at your dinacharya, your practices of self-care. Have you been caring for yourself well? Now feel into your spirit. How do you respond to feeling into your spirit? Feel into the whole of who you are. We've been working with Frank Ostaseski's book, The Five Invitations. And the first one was don't wait. Dive into your life and wake up. Live this moment and the next moment fully, wholeheartedly. Don't wait. The second invitation is to welcome everything and to push away nothing. Some of us may have an aversion towards this idea of welcoming everything in the world we live in today, pushing away nothing. But welcoming it doesn't mean we accept that it cannot change or that our actions in the world might make a difference. Welcoming everything is accepting it as it is right now as we step forward, as we breathe this breath. Here's what he has to say. Welcome everything, push away nothing is not just about learning to welcome changing conditions or moving beyond our preferences. It is about accepting life as is. My daughter Gina and I like to shop in consignment stores for vintage clothing. There are great finds in such shops: a silky paisley scarf, a retro leather jacket, sequined heels. While Gina tries on outfits, I peruse the racks for the next cool item. Many of the clothes have a small stain, or a missing button, or a slight tear in the fabric. I noticed in one store all of the clothes carried a cardboard tag with a price and the disclaimer, as is. I like these tags. I think we should hang them on ourselves and each other like Christmas tree ornaments. What a beautiful gift to accept ourselves, others, and our circumstances as is, with all the beauty, imperfections, and challenges that make up this very human life of ours. To welcome everything and push away nothing is an invitation to discover a deeper dimension of our humanity, to tap into something beyond our habitual selves. To welcome everything and push away nothing is an invitation to discover a deeper dimension of our humanity. Feel into yourself again. Body, heart, mind, spirit. Can you hang the little as is tags on yourself and lovingly accept this person, this unique being? Can you accept everything? Push nothing away. and instead greet it with welcome. Work with it as is. Whether it's pain in the body or aversion in the mind, or an ache in the heart. Can we accept ourselves as is? Now, for a moment, picture someone you love, human or non human. Bring them into your mind's eye and your heart. Can you notice any quirks? Any differences that make this being special? Maybe even any irritations. Can you lovingly accept this being as is? Welcome everything. Push nothing away about this being. Now come back to yourself. Can you welcome everything? Push nothing away. As is. As is and impermanent. As is and constantly capable of continual change. Let's inhale our hands to our hearts. May we be fully present with ourselves today. Mind, body, heart, and spirit. In each passing breath and moment. As is. Namaste. Okay, let's come onto our mats. Let's begin on our backs. It's interesting. The season is really changing. This Vata season is here, even though the days are still warm. The acorns are falling off the trees this morning. So if you hear little plunks outside, it's the acorns. Come on to your back. If your gaze isn't perpendicular to the sky, if it's looking back over your hairline, then bring a pillow in under your head. Make sure the pillow isn't pressing on your neck. And then it doesn't lift your head. Gaze past perpendicular towards your knees. Relax your shoulders broad and begin your somatic walking Pressing one foot down onto the floor and lifting that same side hip, and then pressing the other foot into the floor. Take the knees forward over the toes. So it's not a twisting action, it's a walking action, which is a twisting action, but it's more subtle. Fluid breath, shoulders relaxing back. Just let the spine unravel a little with your somatic walking. Feel into your back print on the floor, the backs of your shoulders, down your arms. What part of the arms touches the floor? The backs of the hands, palms up, thumbs out. See if you can relax the head of the arm bones and shoulders back on your exhales. Still gently rocking the pelvis. Imagine that you're laying on the beach and your pelvis is rocking in the sands, creating a deeper imprint as you rock across the sacrum. Fluid breath, the diaphragm moving, descending into the abdomen on the inhale, mushrooming up under the lungs on the exhale. Now still the pelvis and lift the arms, palm facing palm, fingers towards the sky, and lift your left shoulder off the floor, relax it back, lift the right. And if your pelvis moves with your shoulders, that's okay. Lift one shoulder, perhaps the same side hip lifts a little, and just rock the spine back and forth, stretching open across the shoulder girdle. Fluid breath and motion. Now open the hands a little wider and let the hands come back overhead, palms up. Reach along and stretch the shoulders. And then exhale, palms turning in towards the body. Bring the hands pinky side down back towards the hips. And then inhale, take the arms over again, palms turning towards the sky. Stretch the arms. They can be wide like a V around your head. And now rock your pelvis, tailbone towards earth and tailbone towards sky. The arms may be hovering a little above the ground if your shoulders are tight, or the hands may be resting on the ground as you rock the pelvis and invite the web of fascia to stretch, relaxing the arms open. Staying with your deep and three-dimensional breath, noticing any tightness or stiffness, loving this body as is. Pelvis in neutral, exhale, the hands back down, palms up, thumbs out, and bring your right ankle over your left femur bone. Open the right knee wide and let it bounce open gently with your right foot flexed. And then either step the left foot up onto a block or hug the legs in towards your torso, wrapping a yoga strap or your hands around the left femur bone. And rock your legs side to side gently, breathing into a stretching open hip. Fluid breath. Pausing wherever the stretch feels important in your body. Perhaps rocking tailbone towards earth and tailbone towards sky. Feeling for the stretch. Listening into the wisdom of the body. Knowing when it's time to pause and breathe and listen. knowing when it's time to move, not pulling too hard into the stretch, but accepting the body as is and listening to what the body needs, honoring this body, loving it. And then release left foot to the floor, right foot to the floor, left ankle over right femur. And exhale the legs into whatever position you choose. Left foot flexed. And rock the legs if you like. Fluid breath. If it feels better to you, you can take your hands out from the keyhole position and place your right hand on your flexed foot and your left forearm across the left knee as you rock. This may help you stabilize the lower body for the stretch. And breathe into the stretch and check in that you can relax the tissue on the exhale. If not, come out of the stretch slightly. Stretch doesn't work if the body grips back. Relax into the gentle opening. Doesn't have to be harsh this morning. We're loving this body as is. Deep three-dimensional breath into the torso, inviting the prana to circulate, to nourish us. Exhale, right foot to the floor, left foot to the floor. Press your pillow out and rock tailbone towards earth, tailbone towards sky. And next time the tailbone comes to sky, peel the spine off, lifting the pelvis skyward. And then exhale, release one vertebrae at a time back down to the floor. Rock the pelvis. Tailbone towards sky takes a little commitment in the core to peel the spine off. Take a deep inhale at the top of your bridge and exhale, release the heart first, rolling down the spine bead by bead, vertebrae by vertebrae. Inhale into your neutral curve and exhale. The core activates to peel the spine off the floor. Take a deep inhale at the top and exhale, roll down again. Inhale into your neutral lumbar curve. Exhale, this time, just roll up the right side of the spine, the right erector spinae muscles, like the yellow line on the highway outside the spine. And then cross across the shoulders and roll down the left yellow stripe on the highway to the left of the spine. Come down to the pelvis and rock back to the right, and then rock back to the left and roll up the left side. Pausing at the top, we roll across the shoulders and roll down the right side. Many of us have asymmetries in the spine. Roll across to the left and back to the right and roll up. So you flatten the lumbar spine and then peel it off the ground, coming up to the shoulders, roll across to the left and roll down the left stripe. Come into neutral pelvis and then tilt the pelvis tailbone towards sky, peel the left side off, roll back to neutral and roll down both sides of the spine. Nod your pelvis so you have a neutral spine. And palms facing each other, humerus bones pressing back, lift the pelvis. Come into your bridge, supporting it from humerus to elbow, broad across the back. Take a few deep and fluid breaths. Fill the torso with prana. And on the exhales, invite it to circulate through the whole of who you are. Mind, body, heart, and spirit fed by this prana. Now exhale, float the pelvis towards the floor. Don't come fully to the ground. And inhale, float it back towards the sky like a kite dipping. We exhale down and inhale up and work the muscles in the back body to warm them up. Fluid breath, nourishing the whole of who you are as you are in this breath. Now inhale back up and lift the right hip slightly higher, sway across to the left and swing the pelvis back and forth, right to left, left to right. Feel your buttocks lifting the lifting side. Good morning, glutes. And come back to neutral, lift the pubic bone high, and then exhale, float the pelvis to the floor, and come back to your somatic walking. Arms relaxed, palms up, shoulder girdle broad. Feel your footprint on your back print on the sand. Is it relaxing open? Is it broadening? Feel your footprints in the sand, balanced on the four corners. Feel how the weight shifts as you somatically walk. Now rest the pelvis and exhale one knee in towards the chest and the other, and circle your knees apart and back together again. Fluid breath and movement. Visualize your femur bone pressing in around your pelvis, the socket, releasing synovial fluid to lubricate cartilage. Take the circle the other way. Fluid movement. Feel into how the pelvis shifts as the legs move. Invite a relaxation of muscles. Now knees together, circle the knees and feel the perimeter of your sacrum. And then take the circles the other way, massaging each side of your SI joints. Oh, body, I love you as is. Even though my left SI joint can be problematic. Oh, body, I keep learning from you. Now hug the right leg into your chest and lengthen the left leg out. If you need your pillow, draw it back in. Left leg at a 45-degree angle from the floor. And switch. Now nod your nose towards your mouth and almost lift your head from the hairline as you switch legs back and forth. Back and forth. Activating your core. Nod your nose towards your mouth and almost lift from the hairline. Feel those front neck flexors, a part of your core system, turn on. If you don't have osteoporosis or a neck injury, spine issues, you can float your head up to look towards the inner thighs. Keep lengthening through the spine, stretching the legs out of the pelvis like you're going to push a button with your toes. Flex the foot. Now push the button with your heels. And hug the legs back in and reach hands and feet for the sky. Zip up the midline. Take wrists away from ankles. Circle the arms and hug the knees in. Inhale. Reach your wrists away from your ankles to your point of control where you can maintain your neutral lumbar curve. Use your buttocks. Use the backs of your thighs to hold the legs, and then circle and hug the knees in. Inhale out. Feel the back of the leg. Feel the banks of your river. And circle and hug. Reach. Circle and hug and reach. Circle and hug and come back Shins parallel to the floor, arms relaxed to your sides, and dip one toe towards the floor and exhale up. Keep your knee at a right angle, so you're not bending the knee. You're moving from the hip, neutral lumbar curve, shoulders broad. Head of the arm bones relax back. Feel your back print on the floor. Now you can stay with this single leg toe dips or toe dip both legs. Keep the front low ribs reaching for the hip pointers. Keep your neutral lumbar curve. Don't try to touch the floor. This causes a rebound effect. Just feel into the slow motion and then come back up. Bring one hand on top of the other behind your head and exhale. Lift your right elbow, lengthen your right leg at the 45-degree angle. Reach the right ribs for the left hip pointer and switch. Left ribs for right hip pointer and switch. And switch. Reach the elbow for the sky and keep the spine long and spacious. Let the work come to the obliques. If you flop the elbow across and twist at the neck, you're not really getting the oblique work that we want. You're using momentum instead. Reach the elbow skyward. Reach the leg long. Make the movement beautiful, smooth, and fluid. And if there are aches and pains in the body, can we accept this body as is, as it constantly changes? And come back to center and release the head. And float one foot lightly to the floor and then the other. And nod tailbone towards earth and tailbone towards sky. Feel into your lumbar spine now and notice, are changes occurring? Is there an opening and decompressing happening? Is it more fluid? Come into your somatic walking and focus on relaxing the releasing hip as the releasing hip comes back to earth. We so often focus on the effort. Try now to focus on the ease. Offer the body ease. I love you, body, as is. Broaden across the collarbones and rest the arms and head of the arm bones back. This is postural alignment work. And gently roll over to your side and bring one forearm under you so the elbow is under the shoulder. Bend your knees so your heels align with your sit bones. And inhale, stretch the side body up and over. And exhale, release. And don't even lift the hips. Just stretch the spine, open the fascial neck, and release. One more like that. Breathing deep into the back body and upper side. And then if you'd like, lift the hips and start working on that side body strength. Inhaling up and over and exhaling down. And knowing that if this is too much for your upper body, you could come up and stand against the wall, putting some pressure on the arm and get some of the same side body work. You can stay with these, or you can inhale, lift up and pause, or you can lengthen the bottom leg, step the top leg perpendicular to the body and pause, or you can stack the feet in a side plank. Hug in the banks of your river, lengthen the spine. Breathe into this one unique body. Feel it as is. And then release this side and come to the other side. Elbow under shoulder, not tucked in towards the hip. If anything, take it towards the head of the mat. Remember, you can always fold your mat double if your elbow or forearm hurt. And inhale. Bring the arm up and over. Fluid breath. Keep the hip on the floor for a few rounds, just feeling into the potential for stretching. Open the fascia. I don't know if any of you saw, there was a New York Times article all about fascia. Inhale, lift up the hips, hug in towards the center channel. They were reporting on the fascia, the work we've been doing for quite a long time, as if it's new information. Exhale, maybe you release here and lengthen your leg and step the top leg over. Some of you may stack the feet. My shoulder is almost well from that ski injury, so this is as far as I go today. Fluid breath, accepting my body as is. Exhale, release the lower hip and come on to hands and knees. Look down at your hands and spread the fingers evenly. Make sure they're not spread so far that it flattens your palm. And look at your wrist creases. They can be parallel with the front of the mat or slightly turned out. Inhaling into your cow and exhaling, pressing hands away from knees into your cat. Really letting yourself feel into the center channel. Invite opening, spaciousness. Pause wherever it feels good in your body. Maybe rock your body side to side. For my low back with my scoliosis, I love rocking my pelvis side to side in a cat pose. It helps me stretch out the asymmetry. So you experiment with your body. Can you release the head in the shoulder girdle and lengthen the neck? Maybe you want to take your sit bones back towards your heels to get more of a stretch along the spine. It's your body. Listen inward. Follow its directions. Learn together. You can keep moving back and forth, cat to cow, or stretch one side body long in your cat, the other side body long, undulating pelvis and shoulders in a slight side bend. Open your unique spine. Come back to neutral and take your navel towards the floor in cow. Reach the left side of your spine towards the side and then lift the spine skyward and take it to the right like a jump rope. Turning. Feeling deeply into the body. Honoring it as you move. The motions can be small or larger depending on what's right for you. Bigger isn't better. Take your jump rope the other way. Wake up to the fascia, the muscles, the potential for space along the spine. Come back to your neutral spine and float your right fingers forward and left toes back and lift them parallel to the floor and lightly touch them to the floor and lift and touch and lift and touch and lift and pause. Feel from the arm that's stabilizing you through the body to the leg that's stabilizing you. And if you'd like to, bring elbow towards knee underneath and lengthen out. And elbow towards knee and lengthen. Elbow towards knee and lengthen. And pause. Balanced. And release. And inhale. The next hand forward, toes back, and float up to parallel with the floor, not into a back bend. We're strengthening the multifidi along the spine now. Your spinal stabilizers. Just lift to parallel. Feel along the spine how these muscles have to stabilize it so these limbs can move. And then pause in the lift, broad across the shoulders, long in the neck. And exhale, elbow towards knee. And inhale, open. And exhale, and inhale. And pulse this one unique body. And come back out and pause. How can you rest into this balance work? And release the hands. And inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. And roll back into your child's pose, knees wide. And walk your hands around to the right, stretching the left side body. Fluid breath. Remember, if you have knee or hip issues that make it so you can't come into child's pose, you can bring your hands onto a piece of furniture and be standing on your feet, knees bent, half dog. And then walk your hands to the other side. Fluid breath. You can always modify these postures, and if you have questions about that, please feel free to ask after class. Come back to neutral. Plant your hands. Feel each finger pad on the mat and roll your toes under and lift the pelvis. And take your femur bones back, coming into your downward dog. Inhale. If you'd like to, float one leg up behind you and stretch from hands to heel. And exhale. Release the first foot and inhale. Float the other foot up, reaching from hands to heel. And exhale, release. And float forward into a plank. And release your knees to the floor. Lift your heels, lift your chin. Take the low jaw forward of the upper jaw. Stretch throat chakra. Roll back onto your shins and either bring your blocks or your chair into the front of the mat. Place your hands on the blocks and exhale back, downward dog. Right here. You can stay on both feet or inhale one leg up behind you. And exhale, floating forward, shoulders over wrists. Bring your knee towards your heart. And inhale, reach back, downward dog. Exhale, forward, plank. Inhale, and exhale, and inhale, and exhale, and inhale the lift, and step down. Broad from big toe to pinky toe across the transverse arch. Inhale, the other foot up. Exhale, knee under heart. Inhale, take the leg and shoulders back. Fluid breath, fluid motion, stretching the fascia of this one unique body open. Step down with both feet and walk your dog, building upper body strength while we stay here. Float forward, shoulders over wrists, plank pose. Remember, you can always come to knees again if you need to. If you're in a long plank, make sure your pelvis is lifted, it's not sagging. And then exhale, float back one more time, downward dog. Step the feet forward, heels under sit bones, second metatarsals parallel. And exhale, hands to your heart, Utkatasana. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the left. Try to keep the lower body stable. Knees over second metatarsal. Hips hugged in. Long spine. Inhaling at center. Exhaling the twist. Even your sides and release your arms and let them swing. Really try to let go at the shoulder. Feel into the strength and stability of your lower body in fierce pose, Utkatasana. Can you welcome everything that's here? Push nothing away. Grounding the four corners of your feet. Inhale, reach for the sky. Interlace the fingers, thumbs to the base of the skull, and lift. Wrap your elbows forward, rest your head back. Keep your pelvis balanced, pubic bone to tailbone. Ground evenly into both legs, and if you'd like to, unfurl your arms. Reach from the outside edges of your feet through each fingernail. And then exhale, hands to the heart, Utkatasana. Release the tailbone, lengthen the lumbar, lengthen the back of the neck. Breathe into the 3 dimensions of your torso. And release your fingers to your props. If you're on blocks, they can be on high or medium. Inhale, lift the heart. Stretch into that cow pose. And exhale, step the right foot back. Come into your front lunge and lower the right heel and float yourself up. Virabhadrasana 2. And palms facing up, we inhale. And exhale down the center channel. Can you feel evenly into both legs as you breathe, inhaling and exhaling, inviting the prana to fill this one unique form. 4 corners of the feet grounding, 3 arches lifting. Exhale, hands to the heart and open them, looking out over your left fingertips. Release the right fingers to the back leg, left palm lifts, broad across your shoulder girdle. Dancing warrior. Fill the pose with your breath. Nothing's permanent. We float out of this pose and bring the left hand to the femur, right arm alongside the ear, and stretch, Parsvottanasana. Some may come to the forearm or hand to a block. Heart bows towards the earth and lifts towards the heavens. And we pulsate the body, stretching the back of the side body as we bow the heart towards earth, the front of the side body as we lift the heart towards heaven. And pause in neutral, rainbowing the top arm over. Breathe, stretch into the right side body. Feel into your stable feet, aligned knees, strong pelvis. And hug in, lifting the pelvic floor, rooting the feet to float up. Vira 2, straighten the front leg and cartwheel into your high Trikonasana. Stay long in the side bodies. We're really working on that side body length and strength right now, all the way up through the neck. Fluid breath. Feel your body here and now, how your mind and heart respond. And float the torso back up, bend the front knee, hands back to your props. Lift the back heel and come into your front lunge. Lower your blocks to medium or place your hands on your chair seat. Step back, down dog. And walk the dog. And stretch the upper body open from hands to sit bones. And even legs float forward, shoulders over wrists. And if you'd like to, lift one foot slightly off the ground, staying balanced in your pelvis. And release that foot and lift the other foot. And release that foot. And step your right foot forward. Lower the left heel and float yourself up into your Virabhadrasana 2. Computer wants to update. I need to do that when I'm not in class. Vira 2. Remember, palate floats over heart, over pelvis. Beautiful pose, Sherry. Can see that line. Back fingertips touch the back leg, front palm lifts broad across the shoulder girdle. Knee resting open over the second metatarsal. Fluid breath. Fill it with prana, the pose. And exhale back up. Bring the right hand to the femur, left arm alongside the ear, and stretch before you come lower. And heart towards the earth. And then undulate, heart towards the heavens. And feel the body as it moves. Feel into your mind's response. Is your heart in the practice today? Coming back to neutral rainbow, the left arm over, and breathe into the opening fascia. Invite the body to relax open on the exhale. And then gather your strength at the pelvic core, root to rise and float back up, straightening the front leg, cartwheel gently into your high trikonasana. Rooting from the pelvis through the legs, lengthen the spine. Fluid breath. Check in that your knees aren't locking, that the four corners of the feet are grounded. Feel into your strength. And notice, is there discomfort I should listen to come out slightly? Or is the discomfort my strengthening that's occurring? Or do I instead feel, la, this is wonderful? Notice. And then float back up because nothing's permanent. Bend your front knee, hands to your props, lift the back heel, and step back plank. Hands on blocks, medium or low. Lower your knees to the floor, lift your heels, lift your chin. Take the low jaw forward of the upper jaw. Breathe into the stretch of this front neck, right up into your jaw. And roll back, child's pose. If you're using a chair, step back, half dog. Keep your armpits buoyant and rest your belly on your legs and breathe. Feel how the breath moves the contents of the abdomen, moves the waters in your body. And flow back up into hands and knees or hands and feet. And step your right block forward and your right knee back. And stretch the pelvis away from the hands. Stretch the right side body. And come back up. And step the left, come back to neutral, and then step the left block forward and the left knee back and stretch back. Stretching the left side body. Your right forearm can come onto the block or the chair seat. Fluid breath. Then draw the block back into your neutral. Roll up, downward dog. And walk your dog. Then you can stay with walking the dog or come to neutral and float one foot up behind you. Bend the knee, lift the hip over the grounded hip, and come into your twist, pressing the foot back behind you. Keep the shoulder girdle balanced. fluid, three-dimensional breath. The pelvis realigns, the foot steps down, the next foot floats up. Stretching back, bend the knee. Hip begins to stack over bottom hip. It may not fully happen. Press the foot behind you. Keep the shoulder girdle level in neutral, grounded into each arm. Three-dimensional breath deep into the pelvis to help move and stretch the fascia. And release the foot back to the floor. Walk your dog. Step the feet forward, heels under sit bones, knees bend, hands to the heart. Utkatasana. Take a deep inhale and exhale, twist one direction. And inhale, center, and exhale, twist the other. Inhale, center, exhale, and inhale, exhale, and inhale. Release your arms and let them swing. Feel the whole wide open foot on the floor and root into it as you lift the arms. Interlace your fingers the funny way, thumbs to the base of the skull lift. Wrap the elbows around, keeping your pelvis neutral. Pubic bone even with tailbone, reach the elbows. And if you'd like to, unfurl your arms. Stay stable, pelvis into the four corners of the feet. Let it be the spine that rainbows open. And exhale, hands to the heart. Mountain pose. Relax your hands, your forearms broad across the shoulders. Lift your left arm across the body. Hold the left forearm with your right hand and stretch the left arm to the right, and then draw the right shoulder back. Draw the right arm into the chest and release the shoulder girdle away from the ears. Breathe into the stretch in your arm. Gently take the left ear towards the left shoulder. Breathe into the right neck. Come back to neutral and release. Take the right arm across, stretch it to the left. Draw the right shoulder back in resistance. Draw the arm into the chest. Release the shoulder girdle away from the ears. Three-dimensional breath. And lean the right ear towards the right shoulder. Come back to neutral and release. Lift up your yoga strap and take it behind you, palms back. And reach the shoulders wide and broad across the collarbones and lift the hands back behind you. Palms rising, root the tailbone earthward. Lift the heart. Release across the shoulder girdle. Breathe into the whole circumference of the torso. Feet planted. Second metatarsals parallel. Bend your knees. Bring your torso parallel to the floor and lift your hands skyward. Fluid breath. Some of you will be able to lay your belly right on your femur bones and let the arms come even farther towards your head. Some of you will be able to lengthen the legs with your belly on the femur bones, coming towards Uttanasana. Only go as far as is right in your unique body. Accepting it as it is today in this breath, in this moment. We bend the knees, release the hands back towards the sacrum, and unhinge. And let's bring in our chair. Let's bring the back of the chair towards us. You can move your blocks out of your way. Well, some of you actually, you might want your blocks lower down in front of the chair. You might come down that far. Take 1 foot forward and 1 foot back and take your rock step. Okay. And then ground your feet, heels sit bone distance wide. We're coming into Parsvottanasana. Your front foot is straight ahead, your back foot slightly out. And inhale, lift arms towards the sky, stretch your side bodies, and hinge from the pelvis forward. Now, if you're using a chair, you can press it forward. If you're using a wall or piece of furniture, walk back. Stretch the spine long in this high position, lengthening from pelvis along the front of the spine. Really ask yourself, can I hinge from the hip to come lower? And make sure, if you do, you're not cat curling the spine to get there, which will eventually cause wear and tear on your lumbar discs. Draw the front leg hip crease back. Breathe into the opening. Parsvottanasana. Make sure you're taking a stretch you can relax into on the exhale. And then float back up using your strong banks of the river. Lift your hands to the sky and exhale, hands to the heart. Coming into mountain pose. Feel into mind, body, heart, and spirit now. Is this practice an offering? Step the next foot forward and take your rock step. Land your feet. Remember, the wider you are front to back, the more of a base you've created for yourself, but also the more of a stretch you'll have to do. So you choose how wide, front to back. And then inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hinge from the pelvis over the femurs. Hands to your prop. Either press it forward or walk back. Hollow inside the pelvis and lengthen along the front of the spine. Use the core we woke up earlier to support a long spine. You can even lengthen it by feeling into the sides of the spine and lengthening there. Make sure you're not over hinging at the shoulder joint. Keep the neck a little above the arms. Your hands can move out if you're on a chair so that they're wide. Draw the front leg hip crease back. And if you come lower, check that you're hinging from the pelvis so that you can keep a neutral lumbar curve and not overly compress the discs. Fluid breath. This should be an opening of the hips to create space for the low back. An opening of the shoulders to create space in the thoracic spine. Check in that you're not hyperextending your knees, that you're balanced on the four corners of your feet. We're going to take care of this one unique body. Home of this heart, this mind, this spirit. And then walk your hands back up, reaching for the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart. Rest into your mountain pose. Relax the hands and the toes and the jaw. Relax the muscles of the face and the eyes. Fluid breath. Now gently step your feet wide. Turn the toes out and the knees out. And from your hip crease, lengthen out towards your knees and float your arms up into cactus. Exhale. Take the right shoulder around towards the left buttock. Inhale back to center and exhale, right shoulder towards left buttock. Take a breath or two. And as you're ready, release and do a few more of these twists side to side. We're really working on opening the body today. Fluidity, space. Space for us to be truly who we are. Straightening the legs, let's turn them in and step together and pause. Fluid breath. And then today, let's come into some gentle heart opener for our restorative. You can choose. I'm going to bring the bolster. You could also use a blanket roll in front of the chair seat so I can put my calves on the seat. Bring in a block for my head if my bolster's too short, and a pillow. And then bring in blankets or eye pillows if you use them. Make sure that you'll be warm and comfortable for your restorative. And let yourself lie down. I've been using my eye pillow lately. It's very relaxing. Open your blanket if you're going to use one and tuck yourself in. This is all part of the Dinacharya practice, the practice of self-care. Let your arms unravel around your blanket roll or bolster. Make sure your pillow isn't pressing on your neck. And relax over the props and into the hug of gravity. And as you breathe, feel into your body now. This body has been your home for how many years? And like any home, it probably needs work, has repairs that are getting done. Can we love it as is? Welcome in everything about it, pushing nothing away. Deepening our humanity. Now feel into your mind. Welcome everything, push nothing away. And feel into your heart. Can you love it as is in this moment? Feel into your spirit. Now come back to the breath. Accept everything. Push nothing away about the breath. And slowly breathe energy back into fingers and toes. And with an open awareness, ask your body how it wants to stretch and move as you come out of this restorative. And slowly begin to move yourself, perhaps resting for a few moments on your side. And then coming back up to a comfortable seat. It's always nice to come back to where we started practice and feel ourselves and notice any changes. There's a beauty to impermanence. Let's inhale our hands to our hearts. May we love and care for ourselves fully, as is. Namaste. Thank you.